Okay, so here we are, C-Suite Network Women's Coaching and Consulting Council. Thank you, ladies, for being here. So happy to see you and be with you. Hey, this is a really, really important topic, how to focus on projects, follow through, and actually finish doing the things that we know really matter in the world. And so I am so excited about this topic. I'm Kathleen Caldwell, founder of C-Suite Networks, Women's Coaching and Consulting Council. Wow, what a joy to be here with you. What a joy to be founder of our council. And we are in a very high growth mode now. More about that later on. But I'm a speaker and author, a coach. I was just recalling that I'm now celebrating my 26th anniversary as a professional coach. And I am so grateful for that. That is, gosh, the joy of my life. And I think for each of you too, to be a coach, consultant, trusted advisor, helpful person, to be in relationship with others and making a difference. It's really critical. So thank you to you for being here and thanks for watching the replay, sisters and brothers. Hey, quick shout out. Deb Creer just did an important research study about continuity during a medical diagnosis, or for her, she specializes in cancer diagnosis. And last week's presentation was incredible. She was revealing the results of her research. You know, it's the thing that we don't want to talk about, but we've got to talk about it. And talk about it with our clients, right? What are they going to do when the stuff hits the fan? We sometimes don't want to think about it, about it, or do anything. But Deb's research is really important. So be sure to watch the replay on our YouTube channel. And of course, big shout out and thank you to Carol Kamimer, who led our Deep Work Collab, which was so fun. And we had a program about team coaching. It's really hot, ladies. Team coaching and consulting, really important. So check out those replays. And of course, our esteemed faculty partner, Suzanne Ekstrom, is doing a major research project on organizational readiness. So be sure to check out her website. She's got posts on LinkedIn. Our council is reposting for her. This is a really important project. She's using it to inform her work and her next book. So be sure to check out beasmarterleader.com for Suzanne. And of course, our other esteemed faculty, Kate Rosenberg, big shout out to Kate. She launched her new book, Authentic Success. It's tremendous. Be sure to get it at your favorite bookstore or Amazon or Books a Million or wherever you get books. Really great book with great exercises and great learning. I am really enjoying it, and I know you will too. Be sure to check out her program because she talked about her book launch, all of the research she's been doing. So thank you to Kate. Okay, so we know that, kind of set the context that the marketplace, the world has changed. And I've been on a couple AI councils and also panels lately where I've been sharing the research that I've been doing about what's happening with the coaching and consulting business. I was also sharing that I got some of my training early on from Coach U. Coach U was the first official coaching school. It was also co-founded by the founder, um, and also in connection with the International Coach Federation. And so early on, I got my training back starting in 1998, a long time ago, and I was the 1429 student in Coach U. They've changed their name now to Coach Inc., but 1429, and now they are over 100,000 students in Coach U. And so early on, there weren't that many coaches back in 98. And information was really scarce. There wasn't really the World Wide Web used very much. But now, as you know, information's everywhere. It's abundant. ChatGPT, AI, LLMs, uh, Perplexity, Claude, everything. So information is everywhere, and everyone appears to be an expert. And so for us, guiding and supporting our clients to get important projects done and for ourselves too is really critical. And so I wanted to set the context for that. And what I know for sure is that we as successful women, and feel free, jump in, you and I, we already know what needs to be done. We know that we need to reach out to past clients. We know that we've got to be working on our website. We know we've got to be doing more with our newsletter. We know that we've also got to be getting out and getting our 10,000 or 5,000 steps a day. We want to be eating healthfully, and we know we've got to be doing all these things. I don't think that there's an abundance of things we know we need to do, but what is in the way of us doing the things that are really, really, really important? And so that's really the conversation today is what's in the way? And the premise that I also have is as a coach, you're supporting your clients to get things done, to get projects accomplished. Who's supporting you? Now, we know you all have coaches, but that's where our community comes in is we want to help you as a community support you in what's important to you. So comment, feel free, jump in, get your voice in here. And the kind of the through line here is what would be possible if you had just a couple key priorities that moved the lever, that actually gave you more leverage on your business and your career? What are the 3 to 5 things that would actually move yourself forward? So be thinking about that as we go through and have this conversation soon. I think we instinctively know that, hey, we've got to have meaningful progress. And so, yep. And Lee, feel free if you want to jump in and, come off mute, that would be great. But certainly consistency. I love what you're saying. Consistency is the key. Yeah. If you be consistent, exactly. Having a structure and having a system and having a rhythm and a schedule, right? Yeah. Thank you. Feel free, jump in, of course. But I'm curious for our conversation today is if you did something consistently or a couple things, not like 5 to 10 to 20, but maybe 1 to 3 to 5 things consistently over the next 90 days, how would that make a difference in your business and in your life? So consistency, yes. Yeah, very good. Thank you. And I think what's happening for all of us, and it certainly happens for me, and it happens with our clients, is this knowing, doing, completion gap. We know what to do. Our clients know what to do, but are we doing it consistently? Lee, thank you for what you put in the chat. And are we doing it through to completion? So I'm curious for you in this whole continuum, you know what to do and you're actually consistently doing it, and then you complete it to the very end and you see the results. Is there some sort of gap in this system for you? I find that, yeah, please jump in. Mhm.
I was going to say, Kathleen, I love this graphic because I have both areas in my life where I'll be stuck in the knowing doing, but also in the doing completion, because so many things are started. And then in the starting of that, I get distracted and I go start something else and I go start something else. And I'm like, what did I actually complete? I had to take one day. It was literally last week where it was so bad. Oh my gosh, I had to laugh at myself. That night when I was journaling, I intentionally focused on what did I complete today so that I could feel that sense of accomplishment, because as I was sitting down to write the journal entry, I felt so discombobulated and felt like I was so unproductive. But when I focused in, what did I actually complete? I did actually have a list together. So I got to high five myself for that. But it really is putting in the consistent. I tell myself all the time, it's the consistency. Where are you consistently showing up, Lee? Whether it's in my morning routine, whether it's in my health practices throughout the day, whether it's dialing in the focus on the needle movers. And really the greater part for me is where did I complete instead of starting halfway or even a third.
Thank you, Lee. Absolutely. I mean, isn't it also the founder's dilemma? It is it's the having so many projects and being excited about so many things. And I find it's a blessing and a curse, right? To be an idea person. And also I like to joke that it is, and I have my little prop here. It is also a little bit about the shiny disco ball, about what gets our attraction all the time, and everything all the time seems great, and part of the challenge of being enthusiastic is and having so many interests in so many places we can go is what's important. And I love exactly what you're saying is, what did I consistently show up and complete today, right? Because it's intentions. What I'm noticing is in my brain, I have hooked up starting projects with the excitement and the interest and all of those things. But the starting doesn't really, I mean, it counts for something, but it's really the completion and the results, isn't it?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I even put together a little framework because so many times we catch ourselves saying, what if, right? What if? Well, I put my if into a framework so that it stands for intention and follow through. You can't have if without both parts. So many intentions happen, yes, and we start something, but if we don't have the follow through, we can't see where that what if will take us. And that's what I do for myself.
Lee, that is so brilliant. Thank you for sharing that. My goodness. Yeah, that is that I had to stop and think like that is so powerful, so elegant and so truthful. Yeah, exactly. That is fantastic. And we want you to be doing a program about that. We want to get that into our curriculum, so to speak. So yeah, yes. So I think knowing for me, knowing where my tense propensity and my where am I in this continuum, and knowing that without shame, guilt, feeling bad about it, is knowing that I'm a starter. I like to start things. And I need a team around me to help me follow it through. And it takes a tremendous amount of effort for me to deal with to focus in on the completion and the results. So, kind of knowing where we are in this continuum, there are so many people that love the doing of it. They're more of the steadiness, conscientious part of the whole disc model. I'm on the other side, which is the commander's intent and the driving and influencing side of it. So the other side I have to really work at. Yeah. And I'm sure you can relate to your own, starting, knowing, doing, completion, results. Yeah, where we like to hang out. Yeah. Yes. So with that, I also like to think for myself and also thinking, for our clients. We do this for our clients. We are able to do it easily to support them in their journey. But I also think for us, when are we looking in the mirror and supporting ourselves for our completion, for our ability to get projects done that are really important? Because the stakes are higher than ever before, right? We've the world is not rewarding big ideas, so to speak, because everybody's got big ideas. Everybody has dreams and hopes. Thank gosh, it's a wonderful thing, but it's the completion of the project. It's the finished product that gets the funding, right? So I'm curious. I put together this grid is thinking about what's really getting in the way of us finishing to completion all of the projects and the things that are really important to us. And I know that, hey, all of these, I can identify with all of them, what gets in the way. And I think that part of the theme for today's conversation, we're going to continue this in following sessions and get everybody's voice in and really be more of a panel kind of discussion, is knowing our recipe for success to get completion, but also knowing our recipe for distraction and for, I don't want to say failure because I don't really like that, but what's the recipe that we'll know will give us an end result that we don't really want, right? That maybe it's an old familiar habit or system. Yeah. So, what gets in the way of us completion? I know that all of these things, and you know, uh, certainly one of the key things that I've been really thinking about is if I don't know all the steps to completing a project, I feel paralyzed sometimes, and it enacts my parasympathetic system to fight, flight, freeze. Is it's hard to take the next step if I can't lay out the next steps. So, what I know for myself is I have to take some time, relax, get in an expansive place, and kind of think through the next couple steps. Yeah. So, big ideas, but then the execution and the implementation of it is what's the next step? What's the step? And break it down into chunks. I have to chunk things down. Yeah. Yeah. Can you relate to any of these? Anyone else jump in?
Kathleen, yeah, I'm right there with you. 100% I can relate to every single one of these. And that what you were just describing too, of like, okay, I don't know the next step. And that's where I have to tell myself everything is figure outable. And
Yes, exactly.
I can figure it out. And where am I not trusting myself in the process? And
Yes.
because I can't remember where I learned it. It could have been Brenda Burchard, it could have been Marie Forleo, where
Mhm.
they described confidence is the ability to figure things out. So I think I got it from
Yes.
Brendan that confidence is the ability to figure things out. Marie Forleo, of course, with her book Everything is Figure Outable, and then
Yes.
putting those two together, recognizing, okay, what do I need to know about myself where I can trust myself to take that next step, even if I feel not quite ready, but just go do it anyway? Or who do I need to know, or what do I need to know so that I can figure out that next step? And sometimes, yes, I get caught up in that whole analysis paralysis, and
Yes.
it's like, but I don't know, and it's like, well, don't let the don't know stop you, Lee. Go figure it out because it is figure outable, and then
Yeah.
pushing that forward. And then I think probably the biggest one, biggest two out of these is either distractions or that energy depletion. And that's where I really dig deeper into the energy, like how am I fueling my body? Am I sleeping properly? Did I do my morning routine, or did I get up out of bed and just jump right in? Because I teach time management not as time management but as energy management. And then it's the
Excellent.
energy that helps us assess the time and getting things done there. But yeah, what really gets in my way sometimes is like, just like you were saying, that when I hit that moment, because when I hit the distraction, I will tell myself out loud, Lee, where's your focus right now? Where's your focus? And it's like, oh yeah, pull myself back. What is it I'm supposed to be working on? And then if it is in that place of analysis paralysis, it's like telling myself, don't let the I don't know inner critic stop you and freeze you. Go figure out that next step. And that's where I'll look to those questions of who do I need to know, or what do I need to go know, and then go do the next thing.
Brilliant, Lee. Thank you. Thank you. Brilliant. And it was interesting. I was having a conversation with a colleague and this past weekend, and he was saying it was quite interesting that he was dealing with imposter syndrome. And so that is like a whole other conversation that we're going to get into at some point. But that I didn't put that on the list here, but some, people are dealing with that as well. And I want to share some ideas in the upcoming slides about that because I think it's also about the identity of am I the old person that used to do those things? Not like they're right or wrong, good or bad. We're all doing the best we can do with what we have to deal with today. So, lots of grace to all of us, right? Grace, 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 grace. And at the same time, I'm also focused on who am I becoming? Who are my clients becoming? What is our council becoming? And so, how do we move into that new place? And along that journey, when I'm that other person, that CEO vision, dealing with more things, more people, more opportunities, having a team, having more and more resources, bigger communities, operating from that place as opposed to being the coach consultant that's been a solopreneur for so many years and yeah, doing the things that worked until they didn't work as well, right? Yeah. Yes. So thinking about this for our clients too is there's always something in the way, and I'm curious always. These are things that AI can help list, but it's the transformation of the overwhelm. It's the transformation of the fear. It's the evolution of all of these things that we as coaches and consultants cannot be replaced. It's that human factor that I think is so incredible. And that's what we're really focused in on our council about. So I love this because I wanted to put together a graphic of like the physiology of distraction, when we've got great intentions, then we think about doing the thing, doing the project, then we feel about, following through to completion and the results. It's this, I think it's a physiology. I think it's also a framework for distraction. And I think taking it out of the blame, shame kind of continuum, but thinking about what's really happening here. And I know that, hey, there's something that I want, and then I don't have it clearly mapped out, and I'm feeling discomfort about, the I want to do this, but yet I don't know how to. Okay, in my brain just then says, hey, I need a little relief. I'm like, I can feel it. It's like, I need a little relief. So I know that when I get on X, Twitter, I can scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll. In that exact moment, a particular department store, not blaming X, Twitter, no, no, not blaming, not at all. I also know that in that exact moment, a couple of my shopping apps are going to pop up in that exact moment. They like intuitively know they're going to pop up and ping me, and or something is calling from the cabinets, something, or from the refrigerator, carbs or something with caffeine. So it's interesting that it's like we're a physiology pull, attraction for confusion or energy depletion is calling for distraction. Yeah, yeah. And any of this, can you relate to any of this? Because I put down my three things. Scrolling, maybe some shopping or some eating. Sadly, distraction, the spinach in the refrigerator is lower on the list that attracts me. Or putting on my walking shoes and going out for a walk. It's on the list, but it's a little lower, right? Yeah. Yeah.
This is a
Relate,
brilliant
Lee.
gra-
Yeah, yeah.
this
Anyone
is
else?
a
Yeah.
brilliant graphic. I love this graphic. I've never seen anybody do something like this, and what an amazing visual. And yes, I'm just like guilty, guilty, guilty. It makes total sense. I feel like I'm your twin, Kathleen, because everything you're saying,
Oh,
I'm like,
Lee,
yep, that's me,
I'm
that's
feeling
me,
it.
that's me.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Well, and I think that this is what the world is dealing with. And apps and technology, they know this, they know our sweet spot. They're following all the cookies, literally and figuratively, about, when we're scrolling, when we're doing this, when are we shopping, when are we distracted? And I just know, and I think for know thyself, right? I know that there's, as you were saying earlier, Lee, is if I'm tired and if I'm hangry, hungry, angry, lonely, tired, and if any of those conditions are happening, it's like a setup for distraction. And I don't know about you, but literally I could lose literally, it's losing 2 hours of my life to just checking it all out and all this type of thing. So, it's I feel like for me, with all of this in this whole gap, is I have to be very uh, alert and I have to be awake to be able to say, okay, I'm working on this project. I cannot I cannot go off and start scrolling on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or whatever. I can't do it because I know that that's going to be it's just hard for me to control it sometimes. Other times I can control it, but it's going to be hard to control if I'm hungry, angry, lonely, tired, or feeling kind of alone or lost. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And any comments, questions? Don't want to belabor this, but I mean, the physiology is happening. We're getting the dopamine hit in our brain,
Yeah.
kind of the equivalent of a sugar rush. And so it's giving us more energy, more aliveness, which is what we're looking for, right? Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And for me, Kathleen, I've learned about creating protocols for yourself. So like your graphic shows here, it's like we are aware of the pattern that's giving us the distraction. And it's like, okay, well, if I don't want the distraction in my life, then what is the protocol that I'm going to put into place the moment I notice I'm leaning in that distraction area, whether it's the scrolling, the shopping, or the eating, and go, oh, the moment I catch myself, then where do I make that change? And I've been able to improve myself because I used to be 2 hours wasted, gone, like what happened, how did that happen, to now it gets in somewhere between 20 to 40 minutes. It's more on the 20-minute side. It's very rarely on the 40-minute side, and I'll catch myself within those 20 minutes like, wait a minute, what is my intention in this time right here right now where I said I would be? Okay. And then if the distraction is something that may still need my attention, I'll use a post-it note and write it down, because a lot of times it's either an email or I'm looking for something intentionally on social media, or I'm going to research an idea. And it's like, wait, that's not where my deep work is supposed to be. I'll scratch it on a post-it note, put it aside and go, okay, now what was my intention? Get back to the intention, the focus. So having a protocol, first becoming aware of the behavior, and then what is the protocol I can put into place so the moment I catch myself, I can bring myself back into that focus and minimize that distraction time.
Brilliantly, absolutely agree with you. And I found for myself, and I think being able to work with our clients on these real issues and perhaps not to prescribe, but to be curious about what's their system for success on this. And I have found that I have to use the bookend, technique of like, okay, here's where I'm starting, and then here's where I'm ending, and set up parameters and agreements with myself, structuring and strengthening my word to myself is like, okay, I'm going to allow myself 30 minutes. I'm going to allow myself to the top of the hour, and that's it. And so it's a bit of bargaining, right? It's a system that works, and not like completely going abstaining from the thing that gives us the dopamine, that we enjoy, but perhaps putting some parameters around it, find really important. So yeah, yeah, and keeping my word, consistently keeping my word to myself that okay, great, I'm going to do this, but I'm just going to only do it to a certain time, and it's like okay, and taking a little cheering, like, okay, great, I kept my word, because people, these are success strategies that athletes use, that professional athletes use, high performing executives use, that we use as well as coaches and consultants. And sometimes I think we forget that, right? We forget that. Yeah, yeah. So feel free, jump in, but knowing where we can get pulled away is so critical. And there's a lot of text on this screen, and at the same time, this distinction really can't hit home for me is that we as coaches and consultants, trusted advisors, thought leaders, we're in the business of supporting, helping, mentoring, nurturing, providing structure for our clients. Like we're we're in it with our clients. We're holding everyone else. We're helping them to hold themselves accountable, uh, and at the same time, how are we doing it for ourselves? And because I've noticed just such a big gap. And it bothers me because at the end of the day, when we're supporting and helping and doing everything that we are doing for our clients to build our business, to help our clients be successful, my curious thoughts are, why isn't it translating for us? Why isn't it translating? And like, not a bad, wrong, shame, blame, nothing about that, but it's like there's just a gap there between our clients' success. And I'm writing a lot about this now in the category of one system, my new upcoming book, which I'm using all my frameworks to complete the book. But there's a gap there too, is we help our clients be more successful. We help our clients have the things that we want, that they want. And at the same time, sometimes we get lost in the shuffle of all of it. And so that's where I'm just curious about that. And to come from a place of strengthening our personal accountability to ourself, honoring ourself, and really, I think also demonstrating the power of coaching. We've got to continue to differentiate ourselves and our value, what we do, who we do it for, the results to the world, because AI is very, very happy to come in and step and coach up people. I mean, and I'm sure you as well as I do. I use AI for coaching. But the thing is that it's that getting leverage on ourselves and helping our clients get leverage on themselves. That's something that AI cannot do. So, um, thinking about systems and structures, and feel free, jump in, put anything in the chat that you'd like to put in. Yeah, yep, great. Okay. So we talked a little bit about this before, but everyone's got an accountability system. We've got a system that's either working for us or not working for us. And I think the accountability system is, what do we know works? And what do we know that doesn't work? And keep, strengthening the right side here and thinking about and focusing in on doing less of it on the left. And so we know that, hey, if we don't, let's just say, for instance, keep our commitment for a client proposal, or keep our commitment for a wrap up executive report if we've got corporate clients, or following through on whatever it is, fill in the blank. If we don't do it, there's obviously, you can see a great list here. We lose opportunities, there's lost revenue, delayed goals, reduced confidence. We're not feeling so great about ourselves, and the relationship could be impaired if we don't keep our word, right? But when we do, there's obviously a lot of benefits to it: momentum, confidence, revenue, freedom, and growth. So, thinking about for ourselves, what are the things that have us stay in that right hand column, keeping our word to ourselves, accountability, moving through to completion and results. That's the real key here, because we know the recipe for both. And thinking about, hey, what are the opportunities that are being delayed because there's work that's not been completed, right, to results. The podcast that the world needs to hear from you, the book, the workbook, the new movement, global movement that you're creating, all these things, the world is missing out because we're spending time on the left side instead of the right. So feel free, jump in. Any comments, questions about this? I think this is pretty universally true. I think also, are we wired up for moving toward our goals? Or are we wired up to be moving like toward good feelings, positive completion, all of those things? Or is part of our wiring avoidance, where we want to avoid the cost of the lost opportunity, or we want to avoid the revenue loss or the impact to our confidence or the relationship? So are we moving towards or moving away from? I think that's so important to know. And it certainly helps us set up systems that support us.
I think that's such a great question, Kathleen, about, yeah, moving away from or moving toward yeah, I certainly learned that concept from Tony Robbins years ago. And
Absolutely.
as of late, I for myself personally haven't integrated this with clients yet because I want to do the deep work on myself first, is looking at the six core needs, the certainty, the uncertainty, the connection, the significance, the growth. And looking at those and asking myself in the work that I'm doing and where I'm catching myself getting distracted, how am I meeting these six core needs? Is whether it's I stay focused and I do take it to completion. Okay, great. How are my needs being met there? And when I'm falling short and I start something and I go a third or only a halfway and it's not going to completion, well, then again, how are my core needs being met in that so that I have that deeper understanding of myself? And I feel very fortunate. I have have two accountability persons in my life, a fellow, they're both business colleagues, and being able to touch base with them, and have us push each other is fantastic. I there are areas in my life where my self accountability is great, and then the areas where I fall short, that's where I lean on my accountability buddies. And because I want to be that example of this is how you build confidence is you do keep your word to yourself, that following through. And so knowing that I want to be that person who not only teaches the concept but actually walks the talk, that is so important to me. And then where I know being human, I fall short, that is where I lean into my accountability partners in making that happen. But I decided to go a little bit deeper with those six core needs and go, okay, well, where am I resourcefully meeting those needs, or where am I unresourcefully meeting those needs? And then what do I need to tweak to make those changes? So I'm trying to deepen that self-awareness and then figure out where's that quarter inch turn I need to make to make that difference, and then see how that impacts my results. And then I can go, well, now I can teach this because this is what I've lived. So that's what I'm doing currently in my life and in my work.
Brilliantly brilliant. That is fantastic. And that's clearly part of your success formula. And I think for all of us, knowing the systems that work for us and strengthening those all the time and knowing what really, where are we moving towards, and knowing the formula for not so much success, so to speak. And I also, we discussed this a little earlier, is thinking about new results but from our new identity. Where are we going to? What's the next destination for us and also for our clients? And strengthening through the power of consistent action, through being in community like this, where we see each of you as that woman that you are declaring that you're going for, that's your vision of who you really are at your highest self. So we see you in that and we relate to you in that way, which is so powerful. We're not relating to you as, you know, uh, how you may have been, like bless that other part of us, but the part of us that maybe needs a little bit more nurturing, or needs the part of us that needs to have the wise adult part of us help bring us along a little bit. And that part of us that says, hey, I do finish what I start. And any affirmations, and I think affirmations that are rooted in what's true, but also are consistently demonstrated through action, of course. But a woman who honors her commitments to herself, as you were saying, Lee, right? Protects her priorities, consistently follows through, makes difficult decisions, and creates momentum through action, right? Kept promises, keeping promises not only to ourselves, because we keep promises to our clients all day long, and we keep promises to everyone else. And how about when we strengthen our promises to ourselves, right? Through our daily action. So, yeah, so our new identity. So, as we complete our time, thank you again for being here and thank you for watching the replay. This is such an important topic, right? Because we've got important work to bring to the world. We have important ideas frameworks, systems, methodologies. We've got our whole self to bring to the world. The world is waiting for us. So it's important for us to follow through, to create great projects, to create the systems for fulfillment, to follow through consistently towards and get the results that we want. So I'm curious, as our completion here is, I'd like to have us think about, hey, for the next month, the next week, whatever your time frame is that works for you, is thinking about this very, very simple structure. Thinking about, hey, the most important thing I want to focus on now is this. Fill in the blank for yourself. And then the next action I will take is this. Just can be one small action. Doesn't have to be major, just a small action. So the most important thing here is, and you know, I love this phrase, is the key thing and the main thing is keeping the main thing, right? So what's the main thing now for you in this moment? Taking one small action to fulfill on it, and then thinking about when will you complete it by? These are basic, basic things, but so powerful. And also thinking about the woman you're becoming during this process, during this journey. Who are you becoming? That's the key, right? That's the long lasting benefit of this entire process. So, thinking for yourself, if you'd like to put it in the chat, that would be great. And we're also going to be following up on this next week. On the fourth Thursday of every month, we have our esteemed faculty partners and our founding members. We come together for a quick reconnect. And that's where we share what we're doing in our business, what are we doing in our projects, and how we can support each other in reposting, amplifying, accelerating each other's results. So feel free, register, come on in, and we'd love to support you. So that's for every fourth Thursday of the month, excuse me. And we do this, believe it or not, in 27 minutes. It's incredible how we get in and we get out of our monthly reconnect. So curious what your biggest takeaway is from our time together. What's your biggest takeaway?
For me,
Yes,
Kathleen,
I
it was that visual of the physiology of distraction. That, like I said, that graphic was brilliant and beautiful and precise. Yeah, just powerful. I'm like, okay, yeah, I took a screenshot of it. I'm like, oh, this is so fantastic. So relatable.
thank you. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. Doesn't it sometimes come down to the Nike motto, just do it, right? Just do it. We don't have to do it all, but we can just do one step today. So
Right.
yes, yeah, good. Well, great. So with that, thank you, thank you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching the replay and questions, comments. Uh, if you'd like to learn more about our C-Suite Network Women's Coaching and Consulting Council, how to be esteemed faculty, schedule a time with me. Let's talk, let's connect, and we cannot wait to see you at our next program. And feel free, fourth Thursday, next Thursday, come on for our quick reconnect. It's a high vibration, high fun, great, great time together. So with that, thank you, thank you. Lots of love to each of you. Let's get after it, ladies. The world is waiting.
Thank
Okay,
you,
bye for now.
Kathleen.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a great
Thank
day.
you. Thank you. Bye-bye.